5 silent habits that make polycystic ovary syndrome worse every day. Do this to reverse it. Are you tired of feeling like your body is working against you? A constant battleground of symptoms that nobody seems to fully understand? Are you exhausted from the irregular cycles? The persistent fatigue that weighs you down like a heavy cloak? The frustrating weight gain that clings on no matter how little you eat? Or the skin and hair changes that make you feel like a stranger in your own reflection? This isn't just a physical struggle. It's an emotional marathon, a silent confusion that can leave you feeling isolated and overwhelmed. You have been searching for answers, trying diets, and perhaps feeling like you are failing. But I want to tell you something crucial. There is good news, and it is found not in a new extreme restriction, but in ancient, gentle wisdom. The path to balance in your body, particularly with something as complex as polycystic ovary syndrome, often lies in the very habits we overlook, the silent patterns woven into our day. In today's video, we are diving deep into the profound wisdom inspired by Buddhist monks to reveal the 5 silent habits that may be making your polycystic ovary syndrome worse every single day, and we will explore the simple, compassionate way you can begin to reverse this cycle. This isn't about fighting your body. It's about learning to listen to it with kindness. So stick around, because the insights we are about to share, especially the final one, are truly life-changing nutrition and lifestyle tips that go far beyond the surface. Before we begin this journey together, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and feel free to share any part of your story or ask any questions you have. This is a space of support. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health-boosting tip from Sacred Women's Health. Now, let's first talk about the very foundation of this struggle, the inner environment where these habits take root. Before we can address the habits, we must create a space of understanding and compassion for why this is happening. Polycystic ovary syndrome is not a simple diagnosis. It's a complex interplay of your hormones, your metabolism, and your nervous system. It often involves insulin resistance, where your body's cells can't properly hear the signal of insulin, leading to higher blood sugar and prompting the ovaries to produce more androgens, which in turn drives many of the symptoms you experience. It also involves inflammation, a low-grade fire burning silently within the system, making everything feel more difficult. But here's the most important truth. This is not your fault. You did not cause this. You are not broken, and you are not lacking in willpower. You are a woman navigating a condition that is profoundly influenced by our modern world, a world of chronic stress, processed foods, and constant stimulation. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that suffering, or dukkha, is a signal. It is not a punishment, but a profound invitation to look closer, to observe the causes and conditions of our discomfort. In our culture, we are taught to silence the signal, to fight the symptom. But a monk would suggest we sit with the signal, listen to it, and understand what it is asking for. Thousands, millions of other women are walking this exact path right now, feeling the same frustrations and the same flicker of hope. You are part of a vast community, and in this space, you are deeply understood and welcome. Let us now look at the first silent habit, the one that often fuels all the others, and the gentle wisdom that helps us dissolve it. The first, and perhaps most pervasive, silent habit that aggravates polycystic ovary syndrome is living in a state of constant, low-grade stress. This isn't just about the big events, like a deadline at work or a family argument. It's the silent stress, the worrying about the future, the replaying of past conversations, the inner critic that judges your reflection, the hurried rushing from one task to the next. In the view of Buddhist practice, this is the monkey mind, swinging wildly from thought to thought, never resting in the present. When your mind is in this state of agitation, your body perceives a threat. It doesn't know the difference between a charging tiger and a stressful email. It responds by flooding your system with the stress hormone cortisol. For a woman with polycystic ovary syndrome, this is particularly damaging. Cortisol directly tells your liver to release stored glucose into the bloodstream, spiking your blood sugar, which demands more insulin and severely worsens insulin resistance. It also signals your body to store fat, especially around the abdomen, and it fans the flames of that chronic inflammation we talked about. You are, in effect, canceling out your healthy food choices simply by being chronically stressed. Can you really be expected to just stop stressing when your body feels out of control? That is an impossible demand. The wisdom of the monks does not ask us to stop our thoughts or feelings. That is like asking the ocean to stop having waves. Instead, they teach us to observe the waves. This is the practice of mindfulness. The application is simple, yet profound. It is the practice of anapanasati, or mindfulness of breathing. You don't need a cushion or a quiet room. You can do it right now. Simply pause and notice your breath. Feel the sensation of the air entering your body and the sensation of it leaving. You don't need to change it, deepen it, or fix it. Just observe it. When the monkey mind jumps to a worry, gently, without judgment, acknowledge the thought and guide your attention back to the breath. Doing this for just 60 seconds, 5 times a day, begins to rewire your nervous system. It shifts you from the fight or flight sympathetic state to the rest and digest parasympathetic state. In this state of calm, your cortisol levels lower, your digestion improves, and your body can finally hear the signals of insulin again. You are teaching your body, breath by breath, that you are safe. But that's just the beginning. Calming the mind is the first step, but what we use to fuel the body is just as critical, and the next habit is something most of us do multiple times a day without a second thought. May I ask you something? How many times have you already felt alone without understanding what is happening with your body, as if no one around you could really comprehend? How many times have you felt frustrated, misunderstood, or even dismissed by those who are supposed to help? I know how this hurts, and you are not alone in this fight. This journey can feel incredibly isolating, but it doesn't have to be. If you feel this, if you understand this struggle, please leave a comment below saying, "I understand this struggle." Write exactly that. Your message, your acknowledgement, can give so much strength to another woman who is reading this right now. A woman who is passing through the very same thing and desperately needs to know that she is not alone. Your voice matters more than you know. The second silent habit that profoundly impacts polycystic ovary syndrome is mindless eating. This is the habit of eating while distracted, eating while stressed, eating while standing up, or eating simply to numb an uncomfortable emotion. When we do this, we are not just consuming food, we are consuming chaos. Think about it. You rush to eat your lunch while scrolling through your phone or watching stressful news. Your body is still in that fight or flight mode from our first habit. Digestion is not a priority for a body that thinks it's in danger. Blood is shunted away from the stomach, digestive enzymes are suppressed, and your body cannot properly break down or absorb the nutrients from the food, even if it's a healthy salad. Worse, eating quickly, especially carbohydrate-rich foods, sends a tidal wave of sugar into your bloodstream. Your pancreas panics and releases a flood of insulin to manage it. Over time, your cells, which are already struggling with insulin resistance, become even more deaf to the signal. This is the very cycle that fuels polycystic ovary syndrome. Does this mean you must adopt a punishing, restrictive diet that removes all joy from food? Absolutely not. In fact, Buddhist monks teach us that how we eat is just as important, if not more important, than what we eat. They practice mindful eating. Food is seen as medicine, as a connection to the earth, the sun, and the rain. The practical application of this is transformative. Before you take your first bite, pause. Look at your food. Notice the colors, the smells. Acknowledge the energy that went into growing it and preparing it. Then, take a bite and put your utensil down. Chew slowly. 30 chews if you can. Notice the flavors, the textures. This simple act does 2 things. First, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest state. Your body begins to produce the necessary digestive enzymes. Second, it gives your brain time, about 20 minutes, to receive the "I am full" signal, leptin, from your stomach. You will find you are satisfied with less food, and you absorb its nutrients far more effectively. You begin to differentiate between true physical hunger and the emotional craving for comfort, distraction, or peace. When you notice a craving, you can pause and ask your body, what do you truly need right now? Is it this food? Or is it a moment of rest, a glass of water, or a deep breath? This is not restriction. This is attunement. We have calmed the mind and nourished the body, but our bodies are designed to move. The third silent habit is the stagnation that so many of us mistake for rest, a stillness that actually works against our healing. The third silent habit is viewing movement as a punishment, or avoiding it altogether. In our culture, exercise is often framed as a war on the body, a way to burn calories and earn food. For women with polycystic ovary syndrome, this relationship with movement is often fraught with frustration, especially when weight loss is difficult. Furthermore, many of us fall into the trap of believing that only high-intensity, grueling workouts are effective. But for a body already under stress from hormonal imbalance and inflammation, intense exercise can sometimes be perceived as another threat, paradoxically increasing cortisol and inflammation and worsening symptoms. The real enemy, however, is stagnation. Our bodies are designed to move. Our lymphatic system, which clears toxins, relies on movement. And most importantly for polycystic ovary syndrome, our muscles are the primary consumers of glucose in our bodies. When we are sedentary, the doors on our muscle cells, the glucose receptors, remain closed. This forces the pancreas to pump out even more insulin to try and manage blood sugar. Gentle, consistent movement is the key that unlocks those doors. It tells your muscles to open up and soak in the glucose from your bloodstream, dramatically improving insulin sensitivity and lowering the overall hormonal burden. So, does this mean you have to join a gym or start running marathons? Not at all. Monks do not engage in high-intensity interval training. They practice walking meditation. They understand that movement is a form of presence, not punishment. The application here is to find joy in gentle, mindful movement. The single most powerful habit you can build is to take a simple 10-minute walk after your meals, especially dinner. This isn't a power walk. It's a stroll. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the air on your skin. This simple act uses the glucose from your meal immediately, preventing a large blood sugar spike. Other beautiful options include gentle yoga, stretching in the morning, or dancing in your kitchen. The goal is not intensity. It is consistency. It is about honoring your body, circulating energy, and helping your muscles do their job. This is an act of kindness, not a caloric battle. Before we continue, if this information is helping you find a new perspective, if it's resonating with you, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss any of our upcoming tips for this journey. We have moved the body, but what about the energy we direct inward, the words we speak to ourselves? The fourth silent habit is perhaps the most toxic, and it happens entirely between our ears, creating a constant state of internal warfare. The fourth silent habit, and it is a truly devastating one, is the habit of negative self-talk. It is the inner critic that whispers, "You're failing. You look awful. It's your fault. You'll never get better." For women with polycystic ovary syndrome, who are often judged by external standards of appearance or fertility, this inner voice can become relentless. We look in the mirror and see only the acne, the unwanted hair, or the number on the scale. We judge ourselves for the fatigue, for the cravings, for the sheer struggle of it all. What we fail to realize is that these thoughts are not harmless. Every time you have a self-attacking thought, your body registers it as a microstressor. It triggers the exact same fight or flight response we discussed earlier. It releases cortisol. It fuels inflammation. It worsens insulin resistance. You are, quite literally, creating a physiological state of stress with your own mind, reinforcing the very hormonal imbalances you are trying to heal. You cannot heal a body that you hate. You cannot find balance in a system that is in a constant state of self-warfare. This creates a vicious feedback loop. The symptoms make you feel bad, and feeling bad makes the symptoms worse. But how can you possibly stop these thoughts when they feel so true and automatic? This is where the Buddhist practice of metta, or loving kindness, and karuna, or compassion, becomes the most profound medicine. A monk is taught not to fight their thoughts or judge themselves for having the thoughts. They are taught to observe the thought and meet it with compassion. The practical application is this: when you catch that inner critic, do not fight it. Do not judge yourself for judging yourself. Simply pause. Acknowledge the thought. Ah, there is the thought of self-judgment. I see it. Then, practice an act of metta. Place a hand over your heart, feel the warmth, and offer yourself a simple phrase. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering. May I be kind to myself. You can even speak directly to your body. I am sorry you are struggling. I am here with you. I am doing my best. This is not about positive thinking. It's about compassionate thinking. It is about shifting from being your own worst enemy to becoming your own strongest ally. This shift from self-aggression to self-compassion is one of the most powerful hormonal regulators available to us. We have calmed the mind, fueled the body, moved the body, and shown it compassion. But all of this healing work can be completely undone if we ignore the final, foundational habit that governs our body's entire repair cycle. The fifth and final silent habit is the disregard for our natural cycles of rest, specifically, the lack of a noble silence before sleep. We live in a culture that worships productivity and connectivity. We scroll on our phones until the second we close our eyes. We watch intense television, answer work emails, or worry about the next day's to-do list right up until bedtime. We treat sleep as an inconvenience rather than a sacred, non-negotiable pillar of health. For the hormonal system, and especially for polycystic ovary syndrome, this is catastrophic. Your body's entire hormonal orchestra is tuned to the rhythm of light and dark, the circadian rhythm. Sleep is not a passive state. It is when your body does its most critical repair work. It is when your brain detoxifies. It is when your body resets its sensitivity to insulin, making it one of the most crucial tools for managing insulin resistance. It is when your stress hormone cortisol reaches its lowest point, allowing your system to finally exit the fight or flight mode. When we stare at blue light from screens late at night, we are sending a powerful signal to our brain that it is still daytime. This suppresses the release of melatonin, our sleep hormone. This disruption doesn't just affect sleep. It creates a domino effect, dysregulating the entire hormonal cascade, including your reproductive hormones. But what can you do when your mind races at night, or you feel you just don't have time? Monks don't just go to sleep. They prepare for rest. They wind down the day with intention. The practical application is to create a sacred sundown ritual. This is non-negotiable. 1 hour before your desired bedtime, you begin. All screens go off. The bright lights in the house are dimmed. This signals to your brain that the day is ending. You can sip a cup of calming, non-caffeinated tea, like spearmint, which studies suggest may also help with androgen levels in polycystic ovary syndrome. You can read a physical book. You can listen to calming music or a guided meditation. You can do some very gentle stretches. You can write in a journal, pouring all the worries of the day onto the page so your mind doesn't have to carry them into the night. This ritual isn't about forcing sleep. It is about inviting it. It is about creating the conditions for deep, restorative rest. When you begin to prioritize this sacred hour, you will find your energy in the daytime transforms, your cravings lessen, and your body's ability to heal itself magnifies exponentially. These 5 shifts, moving from stress to mindfulness, From mindless eating to nourishment, from stagnation to movement, from self-criticism to compassion, and from chaos to rest are the path to reversing the cycle. If you made it this far, it means you are truly searching for answers, for relief, and for hope. It shows your deep commitment to your own well-being. This channel, Sacred Women's Health, was created exactly for that, to help you understand your body, to help you regain control, and to find solutions that actually work, solutions that are gentle, compassionate, and sustainable. You are not alone here. We are building a safe space where women just like you can find support, community, and real information that makes a profound difference. This journey with polycystic ovary syndrome is not one you have to walk by yourself. If this is the kind of guidance you've been looking for, if you want to continue exploring this path of healing together, subscribe now and be sure to turn on the notifications. Every single video we create is another step toward a healthier, more balanced, and happier you.